Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Celebrate Columbus Show, powered by Johnson Whitkemper Insurance Services. My name is Josh Burnett. As you can see, I've got a great guest with me today. I'm so excited to talk with Malina Albertson about Turning Point's Child Abuse Prevention Prom Court. Malina, thank you for being here today.
Yep, you're welcome, Josh.
So, Malina, we're going to talk a little bit about you and why you decided to be a part of this important initiative in our community. But for those who might not know you, before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do day to day?
Yeah. So I am a mortgage loan originator at Central Credit Union. I've been there about 4.5 years. And then I have 2 boys, 9 and 3, and 4 dogs. So
Wow.
Pretty busy.
Yeah.
But outside of my kids and my dogs, and mortgages, I try to be as involved in our community as I can be. That's something that I am so grateful for Centra for. They do encourage community involvement, but it's also something with my job that I've been able to really take on and just do all of the things. So
Yeah, and we just saw each other last week at the Chamber Golf outing.
Yes.
And it was
It was
blazing
a hot
hot, and but Centra was out there, and it was a great event.
yeah, it was so good. It was so warm.
So I know when Whitney talked to me about being a part of the prom court, part of my reason for saying yes was, this is all about the kids. Can you tell me, why you wanted to be a part of this first year of Turning Point taking on the child abuse prevention programming?
Yeah, so like you said, it is all about the kids. I feel like that hasn't always been the thing in Columbus. I think not everyone in our community, but the majority thought CAP was Columbus Adult Prom.
Yeah, just like an adult prom.
Yeah, not really the meaning behind it. So one, that was so important for me is to advocate what CAP actually stands for. It's Child Abuse Prevention Services. And not only that, but Turning Point, it is their first year taking on these services. Family Services did it for years, and then they had to close their doors because of federal funding. So for Turning Point to take on this, it's not only a huge expense, but it's a lot of labor too for them, and like emotional too. It is such a hard need that they have absorbed because it is so important for our community. So
and they're doing so much with domestic violence already. And then oftentimes with situations like that, kids are also being very much impacted.
Yes.
And so I know that when we talked off camera, you were a part of the after prom with Turning Point.
Yes.
And so you've been getting involved, like you said, in the community for a while now. What makes you love doing that? Like, why do you do that?
Yeah, I love helping people. I also know, like when I was little, I wanted to be a police officer.
Nice.
I wanted to change the world.
Yeah.
But I knew I couldn't. I'm only one person. But if every single person does their little part together, collectively, we can make a big difference. So that is why I do my part. It's because I'm a part of a bigger thing.
That's awesome. So, is there anything specific throughout this process that you've learned about child abuse prevention or the things that Turning Point are doing that you really want people to know about?
Yeah, I don't think it's talked enough about. So I think that's not only getting the programming out there for our students and their families and stuff, but also advocating for child abuse prevention. It's not an easy topic to talk about. It's not something that we want to talk about, but Turning Point, they feel so strongly that it is so necessary and important that everybody is aware and that more people talk about it. So that to me is amazing because it is a big need.
We all were asked to be a part of this year, and you've talked a little bit about why you wanted to be a part of it in the first year. Are there any other reasons why you were like, yes, I want to be a part of this?
Yeah, so as a child growing up, I had a difficult childhood, not the worst, but it was pretty hard. And so I saw a lot of things. not only for myself, but for one of my cousins specifically. And as a child, I remember that being like so heartbreaking. And so growing up, I've always had that feeling that children are so important. And it is our job, our duty as adults to nurture them and to love them and to give them the tools that they need to be good leaders and adults one day, because they're going to be in your seat, they're going to be in my seat, and one day they will be taking care of us. And so it is our job to make sure that they have a good and loving, supportive childhood.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think you were saying something earlier about what I heard was one small thing that we can do, and a lot of people doing small things can make a real big difference.
Yes.
One of the things we've been talking about in our community is Quest Columbus and this idea of being America's best community. And I feel like if we invest in our children, that will make us the best community, because one day they're going to be adults, like you said, and this is our opportunity to invest huge, in kids, and as they grow up in generations to come, that makes a community the best it can be.
Yes.
And this is our one small thing this year that hopefully we'll be able to look back at someday.
Yes.
CAP adult prom switched over from family services for an unfortunate reason with the funding, but we got to be a part of starting something new, and I pray that it will make a generational difference in our community.
Yes. Yep, I agree. I'm right there with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking about Turning Point's Child Abuse Prevention Initiative. I want to make sure, this is not just an adult prom where we get dressed up and, look all fancy and stuff. We're raising funds for a really important cause.
Yes, and all of those funds go directly towards the child abuse
Thank you for mentioning that, because people have talked to me about that.
Yes, and Turning Point isn't going to use these funds for their normal services either.
Which are also really important too.
Yes, it's so important, but that has also been a confusion when I've been doing my fundraising, and it's like, oh, it's Turning Point, like, we've already donated to them. Like, okay, maybe you donated to Turning Point, but this bucket is strictly for child abuse prevention services, which are so expensive. And so this bucket alone is so important, and it needs its own fundraising, and so that's why we are here.
Yes, that's a great
doing
reminder.
Our own fundraising.
Yeah, and so, I want you, if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I want to vote for Malina or Josh or any of our candidates, make sure to go to the website. It's showing up right now where you can click. You can vote for, one or two, whatever it is. But I just ask you to consider joining us, Malina and I, in trying to raise funds for child abuse prevention. I think there's no better investment that we can make than in kids. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I'm so excited to introduce one of our prom court members. We're going to be doing this for a little bit because I want to make sure you know that this is going on in our community and you can be a part of it. And so we'll see you next time.